Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are trying something a little bit different. Instead of going through a live match, we are going through one of my matches that I had in the client, and we're just using the replay playback feature. This was actually a very good match. Unfortunately, I didn't record it at the time. It's kind of my mistake. I normally do record all my matches. But yeah, this one was actually a very interesting match. This was the U7 Goku deck into Broly. I specifically built this deck to try and deal with Broly because, like Ginyu, this deck struggles. I mean, the idea of the U7 Goku deck is just for cheap bodies. We try and just put out as many battle cards as we can. Things like TN and stuff, they don't get over the 25k leader. So the idea behind this build is to try and get over Broly. And I actually think that this match does this perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and resume the playback. And we'll just give you some commentary on the decision making as we sort of go through it as well. So hope you enjoy this one, guys. And yeah, leave any comments, let me know what you think. So we'll just hit play here, we'll hide the replay menu. So we obviously keep that hand. This is a very good starting hand. We have two of the Roshis, you only really need one, but we have a Self-Awakener in hand as well. We have a Frost into Broly. In the early game is useful because obviously it stops, depending on if they run the Paragus, it stops their attacks. It'll stop the Android 21, sorry, not Android 21, sorry, the Android 18. It will also stop the 4-drop Vegeta. So Frost isn't exactly, it's not the best once you get sort of past turn 5, 6, but in those early games, early turns, it definitely gives us value. So yeah, we just swing lead for lead. Thankfully, we're going second this game as well, which is also a big help. So, standard play, we play the Roshi, we take the life, we just pass, and, after swinging. We are more than happy to take damage. Obviously, we want to get to our Awaken as quickly as possible for that extra 5k on all of our U7s. And he's just going to play these 1-drops that just search the extras, pretty much. Also does search for Paragus, but, more or less they're only going to take the extras if they see them. So we play the hit here for obvious reasons. 20k swing, we can kill one of these 5-cost combos. It's a Self-Awakener. And of course they're going to take this. So Broly in the early game I think is likely going to take as much of this damage as possible. Obviously in some instances they do potentially want to combo defensively just so that they aren't being awakened too quickly, because sitting on 3 in the early turns is a bit of a pain. But yeah, so we're hand-wise here, we're actually sitting very good. We have a turn 4, a turn 5, we have a turn 3. We're sitting very comfortable on this. And Broly's going to obviously try and clear the hit, which we're not going to allow. Obviously, I'm thinking here that at this point he's maybe going to look to set up an Android 18, just as a body to try and clear the hit. Thankfully, he just goes straight for the Disruptive Strength. So we charge that Goku. It doesn't really do much into this matchup. For me at this time, arguably I could have charged the Frost, but we do like the 10k combo, and we are going to need those combos in those later turns to try and get over the 25k leader. So again, we're just going to let him awaken here. We don't want to swing again, just because if we swing again, he will awaken and then that energy will become active in his turn, so we just play the Frost and pass. And then he ramps a super combo from life, which you always love to see. And he's just going to swing at the hit. God, it really annoys me when they awaken, that menu pops back up again. But we're going to let the hit die here. We're not all that fussed. We're not going to rely on combo power on the hit to try and deal those extra damages. I'd much rather play the Android 18 here, the 20k that becomes a 25 of our leader. This Krillin also becomes a 25 of our leader. With his own effect at Bus and 5. Now my idea here is that we were originally potentially going to go into some of these, but I think, we just go straight into the Beerus here. It's a crit attacker, we can clear off this ramp card. we just discard the God Rare because it's absolutely useless in this match, more or less. Sometimes that God Rare could be worth saving. You know, if they start swinging 25s or even 20Ks, instead of swinging at Broly, we can swing at those with the Secret Rare instead, just to give us that extra advantage, but it's not the game plan I was going for this time. So he's just going to tap 5 to, you know, bring out another one of these. We don't have an obvious way of clearing it just now. And in typical green fashion, he's just going to play the board full of cantrips. So these cantrips are very annoying. You know, the idea obviously of Beerus with this leader is a 40k. You know, you could just combo these two off with a 10k rather than having to force a super combo out of him. Yeah, it's not ideal, but he decides he wants to clear the Beerus instead. We're not going to allow it, obviously. So that 3 cost here, I kept this just because there was a potential to draw into a hit where we could have reduced this by 5 and then played this. But what we do instead is we use the extra card to force that damage, we neg that by 5, so it's now in that 20k range. And now we can tap 3, play the Goku, we can clear this, and then we also have a 30k body to attack with. And if you look at his hand size, he's only sitting on 5 cards in hand, so we are trying to bleed as much of this as possible, which is why we went with the Beerus as well, not only to clear this, but it is a critical attacker. So we're just going to pop this here. So it stops him from just getting free draw. At least we want him to pay for his draw, but at this point when he's on 9 energy, it's not really going to make that much of a difference. You know, they're happy to just sit on 8. You know, they'll charge 1 to 9 every turn, and then they'll just sack it off of the lead skill, but it is what it is. There's nothing much we can do here. Of course, the double striker just clears 2, 3 or less. And then, like we said, he's just going to sack the energy to get the draw. And he's going to put as much as he can into clearing this. We're not going to allow it. So there was an argument for a super combo and a 10k here, which was maybe the smarter decision. I think keeping that as an extra 15k attacker on my turn would have been more... Sorry, not 50k attacker, sorry, a 15k combo on our turn would have been more... would have just given us more value, but again, it is what it is. We learn from our mistakes. It's also a good thing why I always like to come back sometimes and watch these matches, just to sort of pick up on the mistakes that we've made, see what we can do differently. So this Vegeta unfortunately is not a great card now. He is only going to be 20k into a 25k leader, and we don't have much behind to combo it out. So what we're just going to do is we'll swing lead at lead. We're very aware he's got 2 energy open, so we're thinking 2 of the extra cards, potentially even just one of them could cause massive problems for us. So we'll play the TN here. Yeah, so this was exactly what we were waiting on for that leader swing. You know, if this been a super combo or even just a 10k, we didn't have the combo power in hand to get over that. So we just pass, we're sitting, we've got, you know, 2 super combos in hand, he has a double striker. He's going to have to commit this turn to trying to kill me, because he's on 1 life and next to no cards in hand. So this is exactly what we see here. So we let Beerus die just because he's on 1 life and it's just a leader swing that we need, and we were kind of hoping he would swing with the yellow one to give us the 2 life, but obviously he's a bit smart for that. We're going to put this up to 30, draw a card out. And then, yeah, play the Krillin, because the Krillin's just a 25k, so we're going to swing that and again try and draw that last card out of him. We take the life here because there's no reason not to. We're on 4 life at this stage, so we may as well just start taking some of these life. So we put it on the 10k just in case that was a super or an extra, like it was. Honestly, it didn't really matter what that was because he was still going to have to spend it. So we probably didn't need to put on that 10k. That was a bit of a waste. But we know that we have this. We have the hit. We have a 10k. Hit's going to on attack take another life. And yeah, if it's combo power, you know, there you go. And yeah, so this match was actually in Plat 5. This was my promotion game into Plat 4. So we are climbing that ladder steadily. We haven't actually had time to play a lot over the last few days. But yeah, I felt that this match was actually a really good example as to how we try and get over that 25k. You know, sometimes we just have to spend the higher amount of energy. You know, tap 4 for Gohan or tap 5 for Beerus, things like that. Unfortunately, we didn't see Gohan this match, but yeah, that for me is the way that you beat Broly. You have to just keep playing bodies that are 20k base power. So, you know, your Android 18s that get boosted. Unfortunately, Hit being U6, he doesn't get boosted from our leader. And yeah, so it's a good match. And we'll go over the deck list. We'll show you exactly what we're building with here. So we can close this, and then we'll show you the deck list here. So in the deck list, standard for red, you know, 4 Roshes, 4 Roshes. We do run the TNs. The TNs aren't as impactful into Broly, but they're so impactful into every other match that we kind of want them. You know, being a 20k for 1 energy is exactly what we're looking for. Just gives us that pressure, plus it's a 10k combo, worst case scenario. We've got 4 hits and 4 Krillins. Again, Krillin being a 25k is huge for the Broly match. Android 18 being at a 4 of, again 25 into Broly is huge. This Vegeta is mainly here for those earlier turns because we want to force them to decide between taking a crit and dropping hand size. So once you get into those latter stages of the game, you know, Broly's turn 1 to 4 are very scripted. You know, turn 2 they might potentially play the Android 18 just to get the draw and discard, and you know, maybe try and clear something off the board if there's a threat like this Vegeta, for example. So if we go first, they might try and act to clear this. Turn 3, they're likely going to Gigantic Meteor, and turn 4, they're likely going to try and set up the Vegeta. And yeah, those bodies, the Vegetas and the 18s, are threats to these. So again, it's just getting that added early game pressure is what we're looking for. We run 3 of these. Again, we have ways of using this card here to neg by 5, so you know, the 25k's are within kill range for that. We do run 3 Frosts, again, for those matchups where we need to stop their early pressure. Like Ginyu, for example, this card is snapped into Ginyu. It is very good into green as well, just it stops those 20k attackers from clearing our board, which is always helpful. We run 2 secret rares, just mainly for, again, if there's a 20k or a 25k on board, instead of swinging at the leader, we can play this neg by 15 and attack the battle card, and this becomes a 35k with our leader ability. So, you know, if we have a 25k that goes to a 10, we're swinging 35 into 10. So, you know, you pop a 5 on that and it's at minimum a super combo. Always nice. We only run 2 Gohans in this list. I am tempted to put this up to 3 though. If I was to do it, I'd probably cut one of these 3-drop Gokus and just run a 2-3. I think that this gives us that added benefit, and at this stage in the meta, we have to be very conscious of the Broly. And this is a good attacker into Broly. He's a 30k critical, neg something by 10k, always good. We only run 1 Beerus. My thing with red, and I'm sure I covered this in my last video, there's a lot of 0Ks in red. So, you know, for example, in this build, we run 2, 3, 5, we run 8 0Ks, which isn't great. So we kind of want to try and keep that number as limited as possible. Yeah, 2 of the double strikers for standard reasons, 4 supers, 4 of the Kamehamehas, and then we only run 1 of this, mainly because this deck is more of an attacking deck than it is a control deck. So there are times where we can just put out so many attackers on the board and we can clear theirs rather than swinging at their leader. So this comes up every now and again, just not too often. The only time I think I would really miss this card is if we play into yellow that's not Ginyu, because we need to be very aware of those coolers. The coolers can, you know, cause havoc with us, you know, by on block resting an additional attacker if they're not clearing our board, which can be a bit of a pain. So, but yeah, this is the deck list. I'm interested to know what you guys think. I do think that this deck is still good. I still think that Beerus technically is the best red deck. I think it's bang for its buck in terms of being able to clear board while putting out pressure. Is a lot better than most red decks, and I think unfortunately in this meta right now, with it being a very green heavy meta, we need that control. We need that early game pressure where we have a crit leader. Unfortunately, we don't draw on it, obviously, but with it being a crit leader, it does give us that advantage. So I'm hoping one of my videos soon will be my Beerus list, which is a very crit heavy list. But yeah, if you guys are playing U7, I definitely suggest running a build similar to this. Maybe not exactly, like I said, you can change and have a look at a few of these things and change them as you will. But this list for me has a really, really strong match into Broly. If it can't beat every single Broly, but it will certainly give you the best chance with this leader, I think. So, but let me know what you think. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you.